Hello, and welcome to Thomas Aquinas, the Cosmological Argument, the third article, Whether God Exists. In this video, we're going to consider Aquinas' cosmological argument that God exists. This is found on pages 33 through 36 of the reading, but we're going to look most closely at pages 33 and 34. This is available as a PDF and is also immediately above this video. Okay, so the setup for this argument. In this article, Aquinas is going to present his argument for God's existence. Unlike Anselm's argument that we saw last week, Aquinas uses facts drawn from experience to form the basis of his argument, as opposed to what Anselm did, which was use the definitions of words to form his argument. Aquinas identifies 5 different ways to argue that God exists. We're going to be looking most closely at 2 of them. So, Aquinas' 5 ways he uses to argue that God exists include from facts about motion, from facts about causation, from facts about possibility and necessity, from facts about the gradation found in things, and from facts about the governance of the world. Now, if you're not sure what any of this means, don't worry. We're going to go through the first way in a lot of detail, and then just sort of look over the second way, and I think that'll make a lot more sense after we look more closely at it. And as I've said a number of times now, we're only going to look at the first 2 ways. However, all 5 ways are in the PDF, so if you would like, feel free to go read the other 3. It's not very long, it's about another 3 or 4 paragraphs. Okay, let's begin with the text. It is therefore impossible that in the same respect and in the same way, a thing should be both mover and moved. That is, that it should move itself. Therefore, whatever is in motion must be put in motion by another. If that by which it is put in motion be itself put in motion, then this also must needs be put in motion by another, and that by another again. But this cannot go on to infinity, because then there would be no first mover, and consequently no other mover. Seeing that subsequent movers move only inasmuch as they are put in motion by the first mover, as the staff moves only because it is put in motion by the hand. Therefore, it is necessary to arrive at a first mover, put in motion by no other, and this everyone understands to be God. Okay, we'll start at the beginning. It's therefore impossible that in the same respect and in the same way a thing should be both mover and moved. That is, it should move itself. From here, we get the first premise of Aquinas' cosmological argument from motion, and this is that it's impossible for something to move itself. Returning to the text, therefore, whatever is in motion must be put in motion by another, if that by which it is put in motion be itself put in motion, then this also must needs be put in motion by another, and that by another again. From this, we get the second premise of Aquinas' argument, and this is, so anything that's in motion must be put in motion by something else. Returning to the text again. But this cannot go on to infinity, because then there would be no first mover, and consequently no other mover, seeing that subsequent movers move only inasmuch as they are put in motion by the first mover, as the staff moves only because it is put in motion by the hand. So from this, we get the third premise. But this chain of motion can't go back infinitely, because then there would be no first mover. Returning to the text, therefore it is necessary to arrive at a first mover, put in motion by no other. The fourth premise, so there must be a first mover. And then finally, this first mover everyone understands to be God. This is God. So to go through the argument again from the beginning, the first premise, it's impossible for something to move itself. So anything that's in motion must be put in motion by something else. But if this is true, this chain of motion can't go back infinitely, because then there would be no first mover. So there must be a first mover, and that first mover is God. All right, now to go over Aquinas' second way, or the text for it. So Aquinas' second way is to prove that God exists following from facts about causation. Causation here means facts about cause and effect. You'll see that the argument is really similar to the argument from motion. So here's the text, and one thing I will say is that Aquinas is talking about something that's called efficient causation here. Now, efficient causation is an idea from Aristotle that basically just means what we mean today when we say cause. So in Aquinas' time, there was a different understanding of causes. There was a number of different kinds of causes, and so efficient causation was just one of them. But since then, the analysis has collapsed down so that there's really only one understanding of cause. So my suggestion for this text is to cross out every example of efficient and just read cause. I think it makes more sense to the modern reader when we think about it like this. Okay, so I'll read it this way. The second way is from the nature of cause. In the world of sense, we find that there is an order of causes. There is no cause known, neither is it indeed possible, in which a thing is found to be the cause of itself. For so it would be prior to itself, which is impossible. Now, in causes, it is not possible to go on to infinity, because in all causes, following in order, the first is the cause of the intermediate case, and the intermediate is the cause of the ultimate cause. Whether the intermediate cause by several or only one. Now to take away the cause is to take away the effect. Therefore, if there be no first cause among causes, there will be no ultimate, nor any intermediate causes. But if in causes it is possible to go on to infinity, there will be no first cause. Neither will there be an ultimate effect, nor any intermediate causes, all of which is plainly false. Therefore, it is necessary to admit a first cause, to which everyone gives the name God. Okay, so from this we can draw Aquinas' cosmological argument from cause. The first premise is it's impossible for something to be the cause of itself, so anything that's happening must have been caused by something else. But this chain of causes can't go back infinitely, because then there wouldn't be a first cause. So there must be a first cause, and, as we probably expect, this cause is God. Okay, to summarize this video, I began by presenting Aquinas' 5 ways for arguing that God exists. Then we looked very closely at the text of the first way and pulled out an argument from it. Then we read through the second way and considered the argument of the second way. And, as I said, if you would like, please feel free to read the other 3 ways that are available in the PDF that I posted and try to figure out how they work on your own. As I'm sure you can imagine, they all have this sort of similar format where there's something that we observe in nature, and it can't be that way without God.